It's really hard to see the motive behind Turkey's latest incursion into Cyprus EEZ. In an editorial last week, the Cyprus Mail observed that there is nothing the government of Republic of Cyprus can do about Turkish incursions into its exclusive economic zone. Well, yes and no, nothing can be done, but then again perhaps little need be done. The editorial also insightfully observed that unlike ExxonMobil and other oil multinationals, Turkey's purpose was political and therefore not constrained by commercial considerations. For its part, the influential Turkish newspaper, Hurriyet Daily News, was shrill in its coverage of the Turkish government's position on its incursions. Turkish Foreign Ministry spokesperson blasts Greece and the Greek Cypriots for their maximalist claims to maritime jurisdiction in the eastern Mediterranean, it said in a piece containing the familiar mantra that the Turkish Cypriots are equal co-owners of the island with legitimate claims Turkey was entitled to protect. I do not think the Turkish Cypriots have ever claimed they are entitled to more than an equitable fair share of Cyprus hydrocarbon wealth, although they do want to participate in the decision-making concerning licensing post a solution, an opportunity that now presents itself courtesy of the suspension of operations by multinational companies authorized to drill by rock. No one has ever contested the legitimacy of Turkish Cypriot claims to an equitable share. It is the legality of Turkey's actions that is challenged as unlawful, and the fusion of those actions with the legitimate claims of the Turkish Cypriots is unhelpful, as is talk of being co-owners, which implies owning half the share of Cyprus hydrocarbon wealth. The issue is not whether ROC acted wisely in the past or whether its claims are maximalist. Most Greek Cypriots would reject the notion that their claims are maximalist. Their starting point is that Turkey is occupying northern Cyprus, so there can be nothing maximalist about playing hardball on hydrocarbon wealth if you have the sovereign right to it. The Turkish case based on the 1960 Treaty of Guarantee does not really fly. The fact is that the international community recognizes the ROC government as in charge of the ship of state in Cyprus, and it is no good being in denial about this state of affairs. The ROC signed the 1982 UN Treaty on the Law of the Sea and negotiated Cyprus Exclusive Economic Zones (EEZ) with Israel and Egypt. As I said in last week's article, EEZs have received such wide acceptance they now form part of customary international law and bind all states even though they have not signed the convention. The fact that Turkey does not recognize Cyprus means that there cannot be an EEZ or delineation of continental shelf between them, whereas both Israel and Egypt recognize the ROC government and have agreed EEZs that are valid against the whole world. That said, it is also true that the law of the sea does not prohibit foreign ships from entering a country's EEZ. What it prohibits is the exploitation of the sea within such a zone without that country's authorization. It is important for people to appreciate that the government of ROC does not have sovereignty over the area covered by her EEZ. What she has is the exclusive sovereign right to exploit the wealth beneath and above the seabed within her EEZ, which is a marketable right that only ROC possesses. Sovereignty over the sea and a sovereign right to exploit it are not the same thing. The only area over the sea that states have full sovereignty is the area 12 miles from the coastline. The observation in the Cyprus Mail's editorial that Turkey's drilling plans are shaped by political rather than business considerations explains Turkey's decision to continue drilling after the price of oil and gas plummeted, but it does not identify the political end it is designed to achieve in the middle of the worst public health crisis the world has ever seen. It can have no effect on Cyprus' sovereign right to exploit her wealth beneath and over the seabed inside her EEZ because a sovereign right is not something tangible that you can extinguish. I have racked my brains to understand the purpose of the latest Turkish incursion. Last week I said it is part of a policy of persistent objection for strategic reasons, but reading between the lines of Cavusoglus's statements I have come to the sad conclusion that it is also personal. You did the same last time when the talks failed at Crans-Montana, is what Melvit Cavusoglu is telling Nikos Anastasiadis. As the saying goes, revenge is sweet and is best served cold. So what is to be done? If I were the ROC government, I would go into automatic response mode every time Turkey violates Cyprus EEZ with a hint of contempt enough to prevent any prescriptive rights from being acquired, but otherwise I would starve such incursions the importance and publicity they crave. What if I were Mustafa Akinci? That's a tough one in the middle of a suspended election campaign about which I would not presume to express an opinion.